I'm Crystal Cup.
And I'm Gary Cup.
And we are
Cups
in the Kitchen. Well, today we want to show you one of the recipes that we have sort of adapted for our own taste, and it's our take on guacamole. Now, when I lived in Texas, I used to go to a Whole Foods market that had a little lunch bar, and we would get a sandwich that had bean sprouts and a scoop of freshly made guacamole with this seasoning called Spike that you can get in a lot of health food stores on homemade whole wheat bread, and it was fabulous. There's many ways to use guacamole. Avocado is a good fat for you. It is a fat, so you want to watch the portions in which you take it in. But this is something we've really enjoyed, isn't it, honey?
It is. We
It
like
is. And we like to adapt recipes for our palate and our taste. So the first thing I want to show you is these are called Hass avocados. Basically, there are two kinds of avocados that we find in our markets here in the eastern United States. One is Hass, one is called a California avocado. The California has a very much smoother skin and it's a larger fruit. This one's a little bit smaller, but this is what was on sale, and I was able to find it. The other place that I would tell you might look for avocados always, we have an Asian food market just up the street from us, and I'm amazed sometimes that I can find better quality, better cost-effective avocados there than I can at my local supermarket. So, the first thing we do is we take our avocado, and when you use an avocado, it wants to yield just a little bit to pressure. When I first bought these, it was 2 or 3 days ago, it doesn't take them long to ripen up, but they were hard as a rock, so we knew they weren't ready, were they, honey?
No.
So, they have to be able to mash. So, I've let them set for 2 or 3 days. When you get them and you're ready to use them, you take a small knife, and you just press in. There's a big seed inside of this. I used to grow these seeds, and they're fun. You can look that up on the internet. And I just slice it right around like that, right through the skin. Goes right through. You can even see some of the avocado coming out. Then you sort of twist it open. As you can see, there's a large seed inside. So what I do with that is I take a larger knife, I hold this in my hand, and I just whack it, and then I give it a little twist, and out comes the seed. And like I said, if you look on the internet, you can actually grow these. Okay, so once I have the avocado halved, I take my little knife again and I score it like this, and then I score it the other way so that I have little squares, and then I just push it out. Now, I push it out into a mortar and pestle. Did we get a spoon, honey? Can you grab me a spoon out of there? I can just use my fingers, that's fine, but sometimes it's good to have a spoon. Thank you, sweetheart. So sometimes people just scoop it out with a spoon. So I have several here that I've already scored, and so we'll both just work together. That's one thing that we've enjoyed, even in our courtship, was cooking, wasn't it, hon?
It was.
So we'd get in the kitchen and just make up new recipes and try recipes and adapt recipes. So I just turn it wrong side out. There we go. And in this particular episode, we're using 3 avocados. So one of the things you need to know is, do you like your salsa, your guacamole chunky? Do you like it thick? How do you like it? And what are you going to use it for? Are you going to put it on a sandwich, or are you going to dip it with chips? So that sort of determines the amount of ingredients that you use. This is a very simple recipe. Basically, we're going to use fresh avocado. We're going to use some salsa, a little lime juice, some salt and pepper. And that's basically it. So avocado, salsa, and see, you can use your salsa mild, medium, or hot, just whatever you like. A little bit of lime juice and salt and pepper. So now in our mortar and pestle, we have our avocado. Now this mortar and pestle we purchased at one of our local warehouse stores, and we've really enjoyed it.
We have.
We've really enjoyed it. It's been really good for us. One of the things I would say is that the particular mortar and pestle that we purchased is granite and it's rough on the bottom, so it can do a number on your tables and your countertops. So I always keep it setting on something. It's also very heavy, but it's also almost a work of art. So we not only enjoy using it, we enjoy looking at it. And as you can see, I've got some tomatoes out here just because it's summertime here in the East Coast, and so we are enjoying the bounty of gardens, both ours and our parents'. So honey, why don't you take it from here and tell us what you would do next?
So you just put a little bit of salt on. You don't need a whole lot, but just put a little salt in it.
Wait a minute, you do what now? You put a little salt in it.
A little salt before you start.
Okay, so a little salt before
Then
you
you
start.
just use your mortar and pestle to break it up a little bit. We like ours kind of chunky, so we don't want to mash it into a paste, but we want to mash it down just a little so that it's just a little lumpy.
So he is getting the avocado into a consistency before he adds the salsa in. And what we've done is we've measured out 1 cup of the salsa. This is a particular salsa that we like. It's sort of a chunky salsa. It's sort of a medium salsa.
When you're scooping out the avocados, you just have to make sure there's a little
The stem.
there's a little stem there, and
Right.
you just got to make sure that it doesn't get down in your
I'm sorry, honey.
avocado,
I left the stem in,
or you'll
y'all.
have a little unexpected chunk.
A little crunchy chunk that was not intended to be in your guacamole. However,
I think that's pretty good.
is that good? All right. So that looks great. So we are now going to start with,
Use a spatula to clean this off a little bit here.
and I'm going to grab your towel here and wipe my hands off. Thank you, babe. All right. And I probably can get rid of these, can't I?
I would think so.
All right. We'll just put these right back here.
So the next ingredient in our list is a little bit of salsa. This is an easier way to make guacamole than having to make your own salsa as well. If you don't have time,
Or perhaps you have your own homemade salsa already in the freezer or canned.
right.
Either way.
So this is just an easy way to make it without having to make your own salsa as well. So typically we would add about 1 cup of salsa to 2 avocados, and then we just sort of stir it up and see how it comes.
And once
from there.
again, that has to do with the size of your avocados. Remember, I told you that California avocados tend to be a larger avocado than a Haas avocado. So some of this is just eyeballing it and proportioning it and kind of seeing. Just always remember this, as with anything when you're cooking, isn't it right, honey? You can always add more, but
You can't take it out.
you cannot take it out. So,
The next thing we're going to do is just put a little freshly ground pepper in it.
oh, and are we freshly ground pepper people?
We are.
We
like
are
fresh.
freshly ground pepper people. The cups in the kitchen are freshly ground pepper people. There is nothing like the fragrance of fresh ground pepper. Well, any herb really, isn't it, honey?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know something? I've gotten so with our mortar and pestle, one of the things I like to do is get the red pepper flakes and ground it into our own freshly ground red pepper. And oh, the difference, the burst of fragrance and flavor is amazing, isn't it?
It is. And I think because this wasn't the really large avocados, that probably about 3 avocados to 1 cup isn't too bad of a ratio. Think we need some more?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I think if you mix it, look at that on the bottom. Pull it
Okay.
up from the bottom there. I think there's, yeah. Let's add about 1/4 of a cup more,
Okay.
okay? So we're going to add about 1/4. We added 1 cup to 3 avocados here. So now we're going to just eyeball it, and we're going to add about 1/4 of a cup more. You think that's about right, babe?
That sounds good.
It's so precious working with my hubby in the kitchen. You know, as couples, there's lots of stresses that come to marriage. And isn't it good, honey, to have something just to have a good time with?
It is. It's good to have
Yeah.
something fun.
So we can kiss while we're cooking and kiss while we're enjoying what we cooked. God is good, and He wants husbands and wives to enjoy marriage and enjoy the fruits of good eating together.
All right.
How's that look?
Looks like chunky guacamole to me.
All right. Do we need to have a taste?
Probably.
All right. Well, we'll start with you.
That's real good.
Did you put any lime juice in it?
Well, we haven't done the lime juice yet.
Oh, does it need it?
Oh, it needs a lime
It
juice.
needs lime juice? Okay. So, we're not going to leave out the lime juice. What do you think? 1 squirt or 2 squirts?
Give us a tablespoon.
And this is just a tablespoon from my flatware. Okay, there you go. We'll mix that in. Now, one thing to notice, when we put in that lime juice, it immediately gets more of a thinner consistency, doesn't it, honey?
A little bit.
So you want to be aware of that. And yet that lime juice it does something to the flavor, how would I say it, the flavor combination maybe, or the way the flavors play off of each other, as in relationships.
All right.
Let's try it again. Okay, you want to feed me?
Sure.
Now for me, I think it needs a touch more salt.
More salt?
Just a tad. Now, mind you, will you be putting this on very salty chips, so you don't want too much. But just a little bit to bring it out. You know, Gary and I were on a cruise recently, and we went to a cooking class, and we were taught that while salt enhances flavor, pepper opens up your taste buds so that you can taste it better. That was very interesting, wasn't it?
It is interesting.
Yeah. And it's also interesting the different kinds of pepper and salt you can purchase. You notice here we have a pink Himalayan salt we've been using, and we really enjoy it, and it's supposed to be better for you, actually. Okay, one more taste, honey.
One more taste.
Let me see what you think. As you know, this is just for us, so we can double dip.
Delicious.
Delicious. So, folks, this has been Cups in the Kitchen with our own take on guacamole. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.
God bless you.